We don't stop people touching them. We don't mind if our aircraft get fingerprints, handprints on them, and we don't also paint them as they were new. We like to keep, we paint some, but we like to keep most of the aircraft as they were when they were flying.
We're here in the Ashburton Aviation Museum.
We are.
This is my first visit and I'm very, very impressed with what you've got here. Let's just step back a little bit and give me a bit of history of the museum. How long have you actually been here?
Right, so the museum is just 50 years old this year. And so way back 50 years ago, a group of guys got together in the local library and decided or talked about whether or not they should form an aviation historical society. Decided they would go down that track, so they spent the next 10 years talking about what they would do when they got around to doing it and raising a bit of money. And then all of a sudden the Harvards came up for sale, so they tendered for a Harvard and got it, and for $2,500. The interesting thing was at that point they only had $150 in the bank, so there was a quick run around the town to get the money, and once they got the Harvard down here, well then it was all go to raise funds to build our round hangar. Which over a period of about 7 or 8 years they raised enough money and they built it as they had the money. And once that was opened, then the Harvard took pride of place in there and lots of other aircraft turned up. So that went on for they tended to work on that for about 12 years, and then all of a sudden they were full, as what happens in sheds, they were full, and so this big hangar was built and with a bit of help from the Southern DC3 Trust, who were looking for a home to put their DC3, with Wigram being closed down, so this hangar was built, and once again when it opened it was debt free.
So basically, just like the New Zealand Warbirds Association, the nucleus, or the straw that broke the camel's back to getting it started was pretty much that disposal of the Harvards out of the Air Force.
Yep, it was. Yep.
Yep.
So they raised money in lots of different ways, and back in when they were doing that, and they ran a raffle at the Tynwald Workingmen's Club, as it was, or Tynwald Tavern it might have been at that time, every Saturday night for 12 years. That's dedication, isn't it?
That is definitely dedication, yeah. So the organisation, it's a trust?
Charitable trust, yep.
And we were talking a little bit earlier on, I mean, you've got the original round hangar, which we had a look through. That's the one with the Harrier and the Flea and a few other bits and pieces in. This hangar, which is a nice size, and it's a great collection of aircraft in here. But you're actually talking about fundraising now for another hangar. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we are, and you can see in here that things are quite tight. And so we've decided that we're going to fill the big space of grass out here to our left with another hangar the same size, 40 by 44. Right. And and move make a bit more space, or shift things around in the hangars a little bit just to make a bit more space, make it a bit easy. But we have planes in storage as well that we haven't got on display yet for that very reason.
Right.
And if you look at the flying doctor plane over there, it doesn't take up much space sitting there like that, but if you put the wings and wheels back on it, all of a sudden it needs a big space.
Right, so it is actually a full aircraft.
Well, we have it all apart from engines at the moment, but we do have the wings and wheels, yep.
Right, so it's not like you're going to actually build a new hangar which is going to be empty for a while. You're going to be able to put bits and pieces in there.
And part of the new hangar is going to have a dedicated area that will have small items in it. We have lots and lots and lots of stuff up in our archives of small items that should be on display, but currently aren't because we don't have. So they will all be in the small area in cabinets that are on wheels. And if we want to have a function, they will just be pushed out of that area on the wheels into the big hangar somewhere, and people can come and have all sorts of functions, community functions there. It'll be a big space, a kitchen, bar, AV facilities, all that sort of stuff.
Now, one of the things that has struck me about the museum, I mean, obviously the small hangar is pretty tight. To be fair, there's not a lot of room in here, but the big hangar here at the moment, I'm not seeing any ropes.
No.
Is that part of the ethos?
That is part of our ethos. We don't stop people touching them. We don't mind if our aircraft get fingerprints, handprints on them, and we don't also paint them as they were new. We like to keep, we paint some, but we like to keep most of the aircraft as they were when they were flying, and that is a particular policy or that we follow.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's great being able to walk under some of these aircraft, the Skyhawk, the Meteor, the DC-3 and so on, and just have a good look out. But the other thing that has struck me is the number of stairs that you've got leading up to cockpit so that people can actually look inside.
That's right, that's right. We encourage people to get up on the steps and look into the cockpits. We have the DC-3 is open and that people can actually get into, and in the other hangar there's the L29 and the Canberra, both cockpits that people can get into.
Right, right. So I think I saw a couple of those cockpits at least that looked like they were on wheel chassis, so they're easy to move around.
So we take them out to functions, that, you know, the local AMP show, the swap meet and all that sort of stuff. We take them out and let kids, A, to show to the public, but B, to let kids get in and sit in them and do what kids do.
So, I mean, in that terms, the trust then is pretty proactive in getting out and saying this is what we are and what we've got.
Yep,
yeah,
we are.
Is there anything you can tell me that you've got in storage that's exciting?
So there's a Fletcher in storage that came from Tyree. We went down to Tyree and picked up a Fletcher down there. And in another storage hangar we have a Cessna Agwagon, I think. So a couple of fertiliser planes really. Right. But we do have other planes that have been mentioned to us, but while we're as tight as we are now, we encourage the people that have got planes that are wanting to give them to us to hold on to them in where they are at the moment.
I mean, the other thing that has struck me across the two hangars is the variety of aircraft you've got. So we've got some microlight stuff, we've got gliders, early gliders, helicopters, Devon Harvard from the Air Force through to the jets, including a Harrier.
That's right.
Now that must be the only Harrier in New Zealand, is it?
I believe there's one in Auckland actually, but certainly the only GR3 Harrier, and probably the only one in the Southern Hemisphere, I would think. Yeah. And it will be the only one you can touch, there's no doubt about that.
And how did it come to Ashburton?
So it's a bit of a long story, but we'd bought the Canberra cockpit, and that came from Ireland. We saw it in a picture of it lying in a paddock in Ireland where it had been chopped off, and we thought we should buy that, so we did. And we got it. When we got it here, it was in very good condition. It had been last used for towing targets off the end of the wings. That's why it's painted its colour. Mm. And we thought we should try and get another 40 feet of that and just slide it into a container and bolt it back on. And when we went back to them, they said, no, it's been gone, it's been chopped up, it's gone, but there's a Harrier for tender. And so we thought, well, this was before my time, but the team thought that, well, we should do that. Mm. And so as we do, for these sort of things, go around everybody tells them how much money they want to chuck in, and they bought it, and they tendered something like 35,000 for it, and got it here.
Right, fantastic.
Yeah.
And as I say, the ability to get up close to it and have a good look around it is impressive. And it's complete. Yeah. There would be no reason why you couldn't pull it out and start it up, but that won't happen. That won't happen. So, I mean, the museum is a little bit out of town, but it's not particularly far, is it? So,
No,
I mean, anybody coming through Ashburton, I mean, it's only going to take a couple of minutes to come off State Highway 1 and drop in here.
The biggest trouble we have is telling people that we are here. Yeah. And Transit, in their wisdom, don't allow people to put signs on the main road very much. And so we have a sign at both ends of town, but they have to be off the road in somebody's paddock so that Transit can't get hold of them. But
So normally, what sort of hours are you open normally?
So we're open every day 1 till 3, but on Wednesdays and Saturdays, which are workshop days, which start with coffee and counselling at 10 o'clock, and then people do what they want to do. On those days, we're normally open from about 9 till 3.
Right. So,
but we open for special groups as well. If somebody wants to come and have a look through, a group want to come and have a look through, then we'll certainly be here to open for them.
Right, excellent. Oh, we'll put all the website details on the video anyway, so anybody that's interested in coming and something that I don't often say with museum reviews and looks, you can come and have some hands-on experience with these aircraft.
We get a lot of ex-Air Force people, and they just love being able to get up and underneath the planes that they worked on and actually look on, get really close to them and touch them again. We actually have a school education program out here, and so the local intermediate brings their pupils out here, and it takes us about a week to go through the whole thing. We have a different class every day, and we set up in the round hangar usually because it's a bit easier to keep it warm. We set up in the round hangar and have 6 or 7 tables all around there, and they work their way around doing 20 minutes a table, and we cover weather and navigation and the principles of flight and electronics and all that sort of stuff.
So it's a full-on aviation as opposed to these are the aircraft in our museum.
Yep.
So
it's all about, it's not so much about the aircraft in the museum, but it's all more about what makes planes fly, and because that's the interest that kids have, how do planes get in the air and all that sort of stuff. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Wednesdays and Saturdays being your workshop day and starting off with coffee and counselling.
That's right.
How many? Presumably most of these are volunteer people. So
that's right.
How many people have you got?
Place is all run on volunteers. Nobody gets paid, which is a good way to have it, I believe. So some days we can get 30 people out here, and some of them will dwindle off before lunchtime, and some of them will stay right to the end. But it just depends what's happening. Right. In the winter time, to be fair, not a lot happens because it's too cold, and that will be one of the benefits of the new hangar. There will be a big area in there that. Not the main hangars, but there will be a big area in there that will be heated.
So, I mean, in terms of, I presume like any trust and any volunteer organisation, you're always open to new people coming along.
Yeah, we are, certainly are.
Any specific requirements?
Yeah,
or?
No, not specific requirements, but we like to pick up people that have just retired.
Right.
Because they're sitting around at home with thinking, what am I going to do? As opposed to trying to get young teenagers, or because they have got their other life to things to do anyway. So we like to pick the retirees, guys, but they don't need to have any skills because everybody's got their own. And we actually don't have a lot of people that have been pilots. We do have a few, but a small number of our membership that turn up here would be pilots.
Right.
We have plumbers and electricians and computer people like us and all sorts of things.
Basically enthusiasts with a passion for the aviation.
Yep. Farmers are great because they can do most things. They can farm it. Put
a number 8 wire.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's right.
Yeah, excellent.
Yep.
Oh well, if anybody is interested, then they can just get in touch, obviously, and come and see what you're all about.
Exactly.
Well, Owen, thanks for the look around. As I say, I think it's a fantastic facility you've got here, and certainly the way you've displayed the aircraft and make them accessible is great. And I would absolutely encourage anybody that's coming down State Highway 1 in the South Island of New Zealand to make the time to call in and see you.
That's right. We're pretty proud of it. It certainly is. It's a great organisation that run it, the team of people that look after it, and it's great camaraderie out here amongst everybody, really.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks very much, Owen.
That's fine. Thank you.
Join us on our full advert-free streaming service at historicalmachines.tv, where you'll find lots more great footage just like this, all for less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month.